So next up, it's time for a bit of a larger exercise around forms. I'm going to ask you to build a form for a marathon, a running, foot race, I don't know, registration, where we've got, a couple different inputs of different types, and they are all correctly labeled. Obviously, it looks like complete garbage, but we can't do anything about that at the moment without CSS, so we're just going to make do. So it's just about the underlying mechanics, the structure of the form. So I'll walk you through, what it is and the different inputs I'm expecting. I'll also have a code along if you just want to build it with me. Definitely do whatever you feel comfortable with. But there is a form element here wrapping everything. I've got a first name input, it's just text. Last name, also text. They're both required. So if I try and submit the form, it's going to yell at me about that. Also, they're correctly labeled. So I can click on that label. That's just one way to tell. And then I have focus in that input. Then I have this here, select a race, fun run, 5K, half marathon, or full marathon. 3 radio buttons, and they're connected, meaning I can only select one. And they are labeled as well, so I can click the label in order to select each one. This is just a paragraph, it's just text. I wouldn't worry about that. If you're trying to recreate this, just focus on the inputs. Then we have email. So email is going to be an email type input. If I try and register, it's going to tell me right now, I specified this is an email input, and this is not following the correct pattern to be an email. Then our password. Then we've got this age group drop down where there's a label, and I would like you to pick, some set of age groups. It really doesn't matter. You could just have 2 in here, 3. You don't need to copy exactly what I have, but there should be a drop down here with some options. And that's pretty much it. There's a button to submit. It doesn't matter where the form submits to. As we briefly talked about, forms are going to send data somewhere else. We don't have anywhere to send it. So it's just about creating the form itself. Also, I did use a couple of divs, and there's a paragraph here just to break things up. You'll notice like first name and last name are grouped together. You do not need to do that, but this is what it looks like if you don't use some sort of div or paragraphs or something to break your content up. We get a very long horizontal form. So I elected to not do that and to instead group certain things with divs to just add some extra space. So in the next video, we'll go ahead and create this. I recommend, as always, that you attempt this on your own. I know it's not the most riveting thing ever, but we will be building quite a few forms. They all follow a very similar pattern. Even if they look nicer than this form, they still have the same underlying bones. So go ahead, give it a shot. In the next video, I'll code it up from scratch.